It was a historic week for the United States and Cuba. For the first time since 1928, a sitting U.S. president traveled to the communist island nation.
It was amazing to see President Obama and Raul Castro do the weirdest handshake in history after so many decades of hostility.
The trip was said to be a gesture of goodwill as our two nations looked to normalize relations, but there were some moments of tension. Like when Cuban-American reporter Jim Acosta asked Castro about Cuba's political prisoners.
Yeah, and Raul was understandably upset. It's so obvious the Cuban leader had no idea his country had political prisoners.
What? Of course he knows. He and his brother Fidel have been imprisoning peaceful activists for decades.
No, Raul made it very clear that if anyone could provide him with the names of political prisoners, he'd happily free them.
Está bien, es la única que te voy a permitir. Dame la lista ahora mismo de los presos políticos para soltarlos.
You may have missed it because it sounds so sexy in Spanish.
Even President Obama said he'd met with people who had been subject to arbitrary detention. And just hours before he arrived in Havana, dozens of people were arrested, including Danilo Maldonado Machado, an artist who served 10 months for making art critical of the Castro brothers.
The guy wrote Raul and Fidel on two pigs. If you ask me, he got off lightly. When I graffitied a pig, they kicked me out of high school.
But what about the ladies in white who were detained? They were a dissident group made up of the wives of former political prisoners.
Oh, please, husbands have been using that excuse for decades. Where were you? I was worried sick. Oh, honey, I wasn't out drinking with the boys. I was a political prisoner, I swear.
What about the political prisoners compiled by the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation?
Oh, come on, Michael. Are you seriously telling me you don't believe the words of a military dictator?
You know, now that I think about it, Cubans have no right to free expression, no guarantee of due process or fair and public trials, so basically everyone in Cuba is a political prisoner. If Castro kept his word, he'd release the whole country.
Or maybe hold free elections first.
Actually, that's a really good start.
I'm sure with his name recognition alone, Castro is guaranteed to win. Si se puede.
What do you think about President Obama's historic trip to Cuba? Did you even know it happened? Because it did. Let us know in the comments section, and remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Or don't, because unlike Cuban people, you're actually free to choose.